Hello, impact makers. I am Amelia Harshfield. I help people who are making a difference, mostly entrepreneurs, become more resilient so they can make a bigger impact. And that looks like working on things like stress and anxiety. And something that a lot of business owners take personally that I help clients out with is recognizing that not having success the way you wanted it and the timeline that you wanted it and the method that you wanted it doesn't mean it's not going to work out. So some things a lot of people can do is say, oh, I'm not where I want to be yet. I'm not getting the results I want yet. This isn't working in the way I want it to work yet. So it's just not going to work ever. And that doesn't always that can feel very true. That can feel like you're having a hard time. It can feel like you're frustrated. It can feel disheartening. And I get that feeling. That feeling is very real, especially when you're trying, especially when you're giving it all, especially when you're learning a lot, you're doing what everyone should be doing, what the gurus are saying that you should be doing, and it's not working. So I understand that it can be frustrated when things aren't working out, but that doesn't necessarily mean that things aren't going to work ever. So sometimes people are like, things aren't working, like leads to or equals this is never going to work out, like this very certain outcome, right? And when we are feeling frustrated, when we're feeling down, when we're feeling disheartened, that feeling can make a lot of sense, and it can lead us to start thinking that things are never going to work out, right? Because when you're disheartened, it can be that feeling can be very true, right? And just because you feel like it's not going to work out, just because you feel frustrated and maybe annoyed and maybe angry about what you're currently experiencing in your business doesn't necessarily mean it's never going to happen. It usually just means something else in there. So when the equation earlier of this things aren't happening equals all these other possibilities, right? Because it might mean that things aren't going to work out. It also might mean that you haven't learned enough yet. It might mean you're not advertising in the right way. It might mean you have people on your team that aren't working out for you. It might mean that you are getting in your own way with your emotions and leading you off track. It might mean that you are blind in a certain area and you need to ask for help. Like there's lots of things that it can mean other than this isn't going to work out, right? And I just want to tell you that because this feeling can be so real and it can feel so true when we're in this space, that this isn't always going to be the case, and it might not always be this very certain outcome of this is never going to work. It just might be the feeling that you're experiencing right now. And until you know how to deal with that feeling, which is what I help clients with, it might be really tough to start seeing the other possibilities that there might be and starting to check those out until you check in with yourself and, trust what's going on with yourself isn't always the reality of what's going on. So if you're out there, if you're feeling like things are never going to work in your business, it's a really tough place to be. Take care of yourself. If you need to crawl into a hole, as an introvert, I crawl into holes regularly when I'm feeling like that. It's just like this, look after yourself. If you need extra support right now, I work with clients with this. It's very normal to be experiencing this. I've got some very good solutions to figure out where you're at an individualized level, and figure out what's holding you back and why you're still there, if you're still there, and how to deal with the emotions around that. Because often if you don't know how to deal with the emotions of this isn't working and all the frustration and all these other things that this can bring up, it's so much tougher to get the success you want, because it's like the success doesn't happen, and then you have to process all of these emotions that are getting in the way and like slowing you down and getting the results you want. So if you can go like from this isn't happening and then a little bit of that after, rather than such a long time, that can make your success speed up, and that can make your ability to learn things a lot faster, because you're not experiencing this massive it's like an emotional hangover. So like I said, it can be really hard when you're in this Think about what you're doing right now. If it's working for you, great. If you're feeling like you're in your own way, I'd be happy to see where you're at. Send me a message on social media. I'm happy to see if I can help you figure out how you can get in your own way, because the world needs you. The world needs your help. And those that you're trying to help really deserve the best of you, rather than you holding yourself back right now. So if you want more of the helping and less of the hurting, once again, DM me. Happy to reach out, happy to see where you're at and if I can help. So I will see you next time.